is St. John's, Newfoundland, the provincial capital. That's the main center. But on this side of the harbor, right on the very edge of the city, is a community that time and St. John's forgot. It's called the Battery. Now, for years, it has been a community apart. It has survived countless storms and the sea lashing at it. But now the city threatens to overtake it. For the old-timers who live here, that means change. But they cling as stubbornly to their way of life as these houses cling to the rock. From his front row seat, high in his house perched on the hillside, Bob Piercy keeps watch over St. John's Harbor and the channel called the Narrows that leads out to the Atlantic Ocean. In his colorful Battery brogue, Bob loves to talk about what he can see from up here, sights that city dwellers can only dream about.
Where can you go anywhere else now around St. John's, sit down, look out the harbour, and in the summertime I can take my glass and see a scat of whale come across there, blowing up across the Narrows there. And when the jumpers around and go out after the small one, the pathead whales they call them, see a scat of schooners, patheads going up there, going up across there. See?
Boy, it's a bit of heaven.
See? And then in the spring of the year, then you see the big icebergs going up across. See? Now, where are you going to see that anywhere else? Can't see it nowhere else. See?
The Battery got its name from a small British fort built in 1680 to defend St. John's against the French. It was called the Queen's Battery, and for years it was the only structure on these cliffs. Then in the mid-1800s, squatters from the outports began to build sheds along the water's edge, and in this rugged, barren spot, a proud and determined community took root. People had to be tough. Many times over the years, high winds and heavy seas destroyed their wharves and sheds, sometimes even their houses. Bob remembers the worst of those storms in the winter of 1959. In the middle of the night, a snowslide buried 7 houses. 5 people died, including Bob's brother.
And the snow come down and killed him and his wife and his mother-in-law.
Oh, dear.
And the man Wells was there, killed his son. And there was an old man Dow over there. Well, he died trying to get him up over that night. He was 102-year-old. He was trying to get him up over there. He died that night trying to get him up over.
Wow.
The house, the snow come right from the top of the hill up there. Right from the top of the hill up there.
Bob figures that's when life in the Battery started to change. After the slide, people began to leave and didn't return. Not Bob Piercy, mind you. At 80 years of age, he's one of the few old-timers left here. It's only since his wife died last year that he's spent any time in St. John's. His daughters now insist he spend the winter with them in the city.
I go in now, when the snow comes, whatever time the snow comes, and I stayed until April once. I come back in April then.
How do you feel when you're away from the Battery, living in St. John's?
I feel like I'm in jail. That's the way I feel like I'm in jail. That's the way I feel. So I get up in the morning, get my breakfast, and just go out and sit down, look out to the window, and so I can see the house on that side of me. And look out to the back window and see the house on that way. So I feel like I'm in jail.
But as soon as the snow is gone, Bob's a free man again, and he's back to the life he loves in the Battery. Pretty well every day, he makes his way down the steep hill to the building they call the Twine Store. It's where the fishermen store their twine, mend their nets, and share their stories.
Yeah, what are you doing this morning? Considering the weather or what?
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning now. If it's blowing harder, you'll be out this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Skipper's on the go. You got to watch the
Skipper's on the go, too, yes, this morning. You know, my son, that's the real thing, the onion bait. And if I don't go down the store or go down the hill, I'm missing something. There's something in my life that I'm not doing right.
I'm going to give the daughter away tomorrow night, huh? Got one of them tuxedos for me. I want a suit of outdoors. I'm like a little penguin.
These are good times for Bob, just like the old days, when if the fishing wasn't great, the company was. But many of the old families have gone. Now, newcomers from St. John's and beyond are discovering the Battery. They're moving in, and the community is changing.
Do you feel good about the changes? Are you glad that...
Well, I suppose it's good, I suppose, to a certain extent, I said, but it's not the same out here now it was years ago. There's doctors and lawyers and everything else out around.
Are they your kind of people?
No, they're not our kind of people. But they're nice people now. Nice people, like friendly people, you know, but they don't rank with themselves the same as, you know, what we did years ago, or to ourselves, we say, you know. Now, that's called a storm sickness. It was up there on the hill for the schooner men.
But even as the Battery changes, Bob Piercy keeps the past alive through his colorful wood carvings.
Whose places are these?
Now, this is Wells's place. This is ours. Now,
It's his way of making sure that people will remember the Battery as it once was.
The boys will come down and we plug it in their boxes, and then you split the fish and wash it, and then you put the fish in the sauce.
Your copper may turn into silver, and your silver may turn into gold, and that you will find very useful to help you, my boy, when you're old.
And so life goes on in the Battery, in this place that St. John's forgot, where the old-timers cling to their memories, like their houses cling to the rock. And old Bobby sits by his window, and the memories dance in his eyes, and he knows the old ways are changing, and he watches time sailing by.